Hey everyone, I don't feel this game needs much of an introduction, so I won't talk about it too much. This is Space Quest 2, Vohaul's Revenge. That was totally the Atari logo just then. Someone tell me that wasn't the Atari logo, please. It is the direct sequel to Space Quest 1, the Sarian Encounter. It's basically the same sort of game, a graphical adventure game where we type stuff in to interact with the game and use the arrow keys to move around the world. And that's really not going to change until we get to Space Quest 4. As you will recall in our last chapter, you had just foiled the Sarians' fiendish plot to rule the galaxy by using the Star Generator as their weapon of mass destruction. You became a hero by saving countless lives and returning the Star Generator technology into safe hands. Life was beautiful. And you know it's beautiful because that's all capitalized. But heroes come and go, and people soon forget. Your celebrated herodom slowly fades, leaving you, once again, a janitor. The promotion to head janitor was no consolation, especially since you are the only member of the janitorial staff. Nor was the transfer to Orbital Station 4. Sweating like a pork beast in a pressure suit while relocating space debris in zero gravity just wasn't your idea of a good time. Life sucks again. So before we actually start playing, let's take a quick look at the manual. And like I said in the Space Quest 1 intro, Space Quest 2 onwards, things get a bit weird. It goes a bit off the rails. And I'm not going to read all this because I'll probably get in trouble for that. And I can barely read it on my monitor anyway. But it looks like the first half of this is basically Roger retelling his trials and tribulations of the first game, where he's fighting the rats, where he's looking for the Star Generator, walking through the corridors, getting into his Sarian disguise, walking through the corridors labeled Star Generator, knocking people out, and so on and so forth. There's a bit somewhere up there, which is basically your intro guide. But really, I think the only relevant part that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention was the final panels, which deals with a new antagonist called Sludge Vohaul. He apparently had something to do with the development of the original Star Generator. Just going to read this little panel here. With years of hatred embedded within him, Vohaul vows to enact his insidious revenge upon the innocent throngs inhabiting the scientific community, which ostracized him eons ago. And he says, I haven't come up with a voice for him yet. Soon, thousands upon thousands of my genetically engineered life insurance salesmen will be projected against your galaxy and its peoples. Nothing you or they can do will stop my clones from knocking on your doors, and they won't take no for an answer. But no, we're not getting any, I'll call it, paragraph of narrative like we did in the first game. That was a one and done. The rest of this is just going to be weird. All right, let's take a look at Space Quest 2. Xenon Orbital Station 4. Welcome aboard Xenon Orbital Station 4. To log on Fujisi, please enter your name below, up to 18 characters. So again, as per Space Quest 1, you can name the main character, but if you just hit enter, you'll get called Roger Wilco. That's going to change in Space Quest 3. We will not get a choice. So going canon today again. Orbital Station 4 is one of many orbiting Xenon, your home planet. It is a transfer point for travelers seeking transportation to the various planets in the Xenon system. As we begin this chapter of our story, we find you, Roger Wilco, ace janitor, doing what you do best. A beep emanates from your wristwatch. You release your grip on the broom. And there goes the broom. The broom floats away, never to be used again. That makes a third one this week. Wait till your boss finds out. Alright, we have control. So a really cool thing you can do right at the start is you can walk on walls. but I don't think we can do it for terribly long. It's just this screen, and I'm pretty sure if we walk over here, we will lose the effect. There we go. Due to an obvious lack of common sense, you have stepped off the edge, lost your magnetic grip of the ship, and drifted to your death. Way to go, Wingnut! Once again, you've demonstrated your inability to sustain life. You quickly glance around the room to see if anyone saw you blow it. Thank you for playing Space Quest 2, Roger Wilco. You've been swell to watch. Have a nice day. Something I do need to say right now is that some of the dialogues disappear before I can actually finish reading them, let alone narrating them. So fixing this one in post is probably going to take a while. Okay, let's take a look around. We can just use look this time. We don't have to use look around or other general commands, but we'll probably have to look at some other specific things after seeing this. You are working outside Xenon Orbital Station 4. This area hasn't been completed yet. You have been sent out here to remove construction debris and space dust. The walls and deck are made of a very strong composite material commonly used in spacecraft. What is that on the ceiling? You stare at the ceiling, which, as usual, is overhead. Nothing exciting is learned through this act. I think that may be a generic statement. Alright, what do we have in our inventory? We have nothing. But we just heard something from our watch. Interesting. Look at watch. Good idea. I think we're doing that right now. Look at buttons. There are 3. H, C, and T. We don't know what any of them do. Press H. Your horoscope for today. Keep up the good work. Today could bring that big promotion you think you deserve. Don't take any wooden buckazoids. Do we get anything different? Nope. Alright, let's press C. Roger Wilco, get in here on the double. You got a mess to clean up in the shuttle which just returned. One of the passengers got space sick on the way down. Besides, you should have been done out there an hour ago. Get a move on! I can't skip through that. With that, the image disappears. We get a point for that. The time is 11:26 and the temperature is minus 47 degrees Celsius by the looks of it. I think that's a 7. It's not a 2 because the 2 is above that. Yeah, it's a bit chilly out here. You are whisked away to the airlock chamber. Stand by for decontamination. Okay, we have control again. This is the airlock chamber. From here, you can gain extra vehicular access. Spare suits hang on the back wall. Some lockers are mounted on the side wall. I have a fun game for you. Try saying the first word in that third sentence yourself. I had to do that about 20 times before I got a good take. You are dressed in the standard issue excursion garments. We need to change that, but I'm going to walk out of the room first just to see what happens. So we have spare suits and we have lockers. The lockers are all closed. There is nothing too interesting about them. What about this decontamination device? Look at device. Look at ceiling. On the ceiling is mounted the decontamination mechanism. It cleans any unwanted matter from crew persons entering the ship through the airlock. Otherwise, the ceiling is plain. So what about this ground thing? Are we going to learn anything here? The floor looks average except for the non-stationary disc in the middle, which is composed of the two halves of the airlock port. It is currently closed. You can't open the airlock. Very well. Let me just make a save. We'll walk outside, and I'm pretty sure we're going to die. You've got a lot of nerve coming in here with your EVA suit on, Roger Wilco, screams your boss. That's the last straw. Turn in your mop. You're fired! Well, Roger Wilco, you certainly didn't get off to a very good start. Better luck next shift. Keep up the good work, Roger Wilco. Thanks for playing. You've been very entertaining. We get different death messages this time. Okay, so that's it for the playthrough. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I will just hit reload right now. We need to get into our suits. Look at spare suits. Take suits. Look at suits. You are attired in the smart-looking uniform of a Xenon Orbital Station employee. Can I take these other suits? I can. This one is not your size. I can move my score between 2 and 3 by doing that. Right, what do we have in the locker? You'll need to get closer. Look in locker. You bravely peer into the locker to find a Cubics Rube puzzle and your athletic supporter. Cubics Rube. Very cute game. Okay, we've taken the Cubics Rube. Let's take the supporter. And we've also got a dialect translator and an order form. This is an order form you removed from a magazine for a free Labion Terror Beast mating whistle. It's ready to be mailed. The dialect translator is a small device. It is on. That may well be the same one that we picked up in the original game. What was it called? Puzzle. The Cubics Rube puzzle has made you look stupid more than usual. Oh dear. This is your athletic supporter. Without close inspection, you notice it to be well used. Can we put that on? That is not currently one of your options. Everything is already snug and secure. No need to wear it now. Okay, let's take a look outside. And hopefully this time, our boss won't immediately fire us. It's about time you got in here, Roger Wilco. Head for the shuttle bay on the double. I'm warning you. You're on your last leg around here, bud. One more screw-up and you're history. He then orders the transportation officer to send you directly to the shuttle bay and nowhere else until the job has been completed. Look at boss. He's a balding man. Luminous veins stand in bold defiance to the planes of his temples. Funny, you think. He looked much healthier when he first came aboard. The boss doesn't appear to be too happy with you. You'd better steer clear for a while. And I've just tried it again. He's not available for that. Besides, if he sees you, you're dead meat. Ooh. You're. Not you are, you're. Get to the shuttle bay. With grammar like that? Absolutely not. Look around. You are in the transportation control room of the orbital station. The room is abuzz with activity as technicians monitor Xenon Orbital Station for operations. A pneumatic transport tube is accessible from the walkway above. Don't know how to spell that. The technicians are seated in front of monitoring consoles. They look like your average crew types. The consoles contain much monitoring equipment, none of which you understand. No one pays you any attention. Again, this game's a little bit too real for my liking at times. A pneumatic transport tube is accessible from the walkway above. The tube is made of plexiglass with the transporter inside it. The physical principles involved are not unlike those which transport a spitwad through a straw. Can you actually do that? There is nothing special about it. You stand on it, and it moves. Can I actually step off it and die? Step off it and break my neck? You're into the game barely 10 minutes, and already you've nimbly stepped to your death. How far down your family tree did Knuckles last play an important role in locomotion? Watch your step next time. I've got to admit, I don't understand that Knuckles comment. Once again, we've been very entertaining. That might be common to all of our deaths. Just want to see if I can see this little thing inside it. But I don't think that's going to happen. No. Alright, just step in there. No. We're not getting anything new for being in this little pod here. You are in the orbital station's shuttle bay. A shuttle, fresh from a passenger drop-off on Xenon, is refueling for its next trip. A pneumatic transport tube is accessible from the walkway. A refueler replenishes the shuttle's supply. Can we go back in there and really upset the boss? Oh, we can. If we go back on the platform, will the platform go down? Will we get fired? Let's just speed it up a bit. We're just wasting time here, waiting for the boss to come back to fire us, but I don't know if it can happen. And spoiler alert, once we get on that shuttle, there's no coming back. No. The boss is not going to fire us today. Look at refueler. You don't have a good view from here. Okay, so we can see it from down here. It's not much to look at. The refueler is just a rectangular structure which bears a pressure gauge and a hose outlet for the transfer of fuel. The hose is currently hooked to a shuttle. That's not a good idea. Being as unskilled as you would probably cause some sort of fiery catastrophe. Leave it alone. It's automatic anyway. Is that how you spell fiery? I thought it was F-I-E-R-Y. Nothing special about the hose. It merely provides a means of rousing fuel from the refueler to the vessel. Let's look at the vessel. The shuttlecraft is your standard 10-passenger short commute vehicle. It was primarily designed to ferry people and supplies between orbital stations, Xenon, and other orbiting spacecraft. And we're here to clean this because someone was sick. Don't think there's anything else we can get out of this. The stairs are a series of evenly spaced horizontal planes used for the gradual adjustment of one's relative elevation. That is a great sentence. Seen that before? What about the ceiling? Once we get to an area with sky, we'll have to also ask about the ceiling. Alright, well, let's go up. You enter the shuttle and start sniffing around for the mess you must clean. You are surprised to find that the shuttle is not empty. There are two extremely ugly suckers walking toward you. Hey, what the? Your favourite expletive here. Your protest is cut short as two interstellar ruffians proceed to thump you unconscious. Everything fades. Time passes. More time passes. A strange dream turns into the realization that you are being shaken and talked to by a voice unfamiliar to you. A dull ache triggers a distant memory of a scuffle in which you were the focal point. Upon awakening from your forced rest, it becomes quite apparent that you aren't in Xenon anymore. You find that you are being held upright and under physical restraint from both sides by, you guess, the galactic goons you met on the shuttle. As you try to struggle free, you notice that your hands are tied behind your back. As the eyes dial into focus, you make out an oddly disfigured being seated before you. A sagging mass of flesh that appears to have been human at one time, tubes and wires extend from his body, leading to machines which keep him alive. Suddenly, his visage stirs and he begins to speak.
Well, well, did we have a nice nap? I thought we would have to resort to drastic measures to wake you. Oh well. Welcome to my humble fortress, Roger Wilco. The name's Vohaul, Sludge Vohaul. I was the genius behind the star generator when it was still in the concept stages. It was to be my ultimate war weapon until some sissy-pants scientists decided it would be better used saving lives rather than destroying them. What a waste of technology! Excuse me if I sound bitter. Anyway, you ruined my Sarian operation. I was going to use the star generator to make Xenon pay for what they did to me. They were going to know my wrath in a big way. You somehow managed to change all that. Oh, I suppose I should have known better than to use those mental midget Sarians.
Can you actually say that? I don't know if you can say that now. It's 2023.
That's not the point, however. You are responsible, and you shall pay. Besides, I have another plan, and you'll not be around to foil it. I have devised a plan so horrible, so frightening, so diabolical, that no one will be able to stop me. Observe my latest creation. I intend to infest your planet with thousands of these genetically engineered door-to-door life insurance salesmen. I will at last reap sweet revenge from the scientific community that mocked me. My plan was to kill you, but I've had a change of heart. Get it?
He peers down at the hoses protruding from his chest and connected to a life support system.
Forgive me, I'm a kidder. I've decided I would get much more enjoyment watching you suffer. My associates will escort you to the surface of Labion, where you will perform many painful hours of manual labor in my mines. Be seeing you.
Two things. Firstly, I apologize for that voice. Secondly, the initial dialogue that happened the moment we walked into the ship went through very quickly. There was basically no time to read it, let alone narrate it. So what I've done is I've inserted additional frames in post just so I can actually read the damn thing. All right, Vohaul, I don't want to do your voice for a while, so let's get on out of here. An injection renders you unconscious. Your drugged carcass is loaded onto a shuttle. Upon reviving, you look through the viewing port to see Vohaul's massive asteroid fortress getting smaller. He's in a fortress. In an asteroid. And this must be Labion. We have an order form for a mating whistle. After touching down on a giant landing platform, you are ushered to a hovercraft waiting to transport you to the mining site. Utter despair sets in. This animation, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, great. I suppose we're out of fuel. Way to go, Gorf Breath. Don't blame me. It was your turn to fill up. You're always forgetting to do it. Wait till the master finds out. You're in big trouble. Hey, don't talk to me that way, you slime bucket. I filled it last time, dipsh. The argument between the two guards is cut short as gravity reasserts itself. Good thing that guard broke your fall. He doesn't look too happy about it, though. Look at guard. The guard appears to be less thick than you remember him. Many of his formerly contained body fluids seem to be at large. Ooh. Talks to guard. The sounds of escaping gases are the only audible offerings from these two. Take suit. There is nothing here by that name which can be acquired. Take clothes, maybe? Take guard clothes. There we go. You have no need for the uniform as it is damaged beyond use. Many of the seams are split and most of the fabric is soaked with a generous cross-section of body fluids. Ugh. The hovercraft has been reduced to a mound of twisted wreckage. Everything that was straight is bent. Everything that was bent is benter. There appear to be no salvageable parts. Okay. Look in hovercraft? Yeah. Nothing there. Oh, hang on. Everything inside is twisted and bent. You do notice a button with a flashing light next to it. It seems to be emitting a high-pitched beep. You see a normal button and light. The light is currently on. You didn't notice it during the flight. It must have come as a result of the crash. I think we have to push that button, otherwise reinforcements will come or something bad will happen. So what happens if we press the button? You press the button. The light goes dark and you no longer notice the high-pitched beep. We got 1 point for that. Alright, I said I would do it. The ceiling is not here. The ground is soiled. Look at trees. Yes, you see before you a tree. Game's taking a piss. Look at rock. The rocks in this region are all grey and fairly rounded. There appears to be nothing of interest about them. Now I know for a fact that if I walk this way, we're going to die. Because there is a pit here. Ah! You fall to the bottom of a concealed pit. You might have survived the fall had you not come in contact with several 30-centimeter long spikes planted vertically along the bottom of the pit. This is so fascinating. This is an American-developed video game in, I believe it was 1986. Let me just confirm that. No, correction, it was 1987. According to Google, it was the 14th of November 1987, and that's probably coming from Wikipedia. This was an American-developed game in 1987, and look at that. They're using the metric system. Even they knew back then to use the right system. That's the same death message that we saw before. Yeah, I'm really not sure whether to push that button at this time or not. Can I take the rock? The rocks here are too large to move. Can I climb the tree? The tree is coated with a thin, slimy film, making it unclimbable. Oh boy. I see those eyes on the left there. You must be seeing things. Yeah, right, game. Yeah, right. The bushes seem to be composed of leaves and small branches. Nothing interesting about them. The foliage here is much too dense for you to pass through. We can't go left. What about the smoke coming off this thing? You notice that some smoke is escaping from a fractured energy cell in the wrecked hovercraft. Look at energy cell. Right, I think we can go left. No, what about up? We can go up. And I think we can also go right. You are standing in a dark and damp portion of the forest. There are some very large mushroom-like growths here. Aside from their enormous size, they appear to be your average garden variety mushrooms. No doubt they're going to kill me if I touch them. The ground is soiled. Yeah, I reckon we need to push that button, otherwise something bad is going to happen about 10 screens from now. Holy jeez, boy, that mushroom thing sucked you clean up. You can't move a muscle nor see a speck of light. You begin feeling waves of tingling, warmth, and moisture. Suddenly, it's not so bad in here. Wow. Check out the colors, dude. Your body and mind enjoy the short-lived buzz that is a side effect of the lethal poison you now marinate in. You are oblivious to the end. Not a bad way to go, actually. But it sure is early in the game. I had high hopes for you. They said, "Who? Roger Wilco? Not a chance. That chump won't last 20 minutes. I said, "No way. Roger Wilco isn't that lame." So anyway, don't make me look stupid too. That was a very strange dialogue. I feel that was a bit fourth wall breaking with the two guys from Andromeda. What can I do with these mushrooms? Ambitious, aren't we? These things are heavy and well rooted and would, most likely, tear you a new one. Where else can we go? They're poisonous and they have some sort of hallucinogenic effect, which I think could be very useful perhaps. But right now, I don't see what we can do with them. That thing is still beeping. Suddenly, from somewhere to the east, you hear a twang, followed by a high-pitched shriek. Somewhere from the east. You hear something. It sounds not unlike the hovercraft you wrecked in. I just want to wander around a bit and see if we get captured as a result of not switching off that beeping thing. But yeah, we heard a hovercraft. And there it is again. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's because we didn't turn off the beeping thing. Drats! Vohaul's troops have tracked you down and passed sentence for your escape. Tough luck, eh? I mean, we didn't really escape. It was more just a case of the ship went down and there was nothing else for us to do. I mean, what did the game want us to do? Just stay with the ship? Alright, so hopefully that's going to stop the hovercraft from coming around. You are in a strange looking stand of woods. Stand of woods. Again, suddenly from somewhere to the east you hear a thwang, followed by a high-pitched shriek. The trees around the perimeter of the area have a shiny, slick look. The two in the middle have a duller kind of sheen. I suppose we can climb them? Oh, we can. This is as uncool can be. It looks like you've adhered yourself to this tree like a fly to flypaper. And speaking of insects, here comes a swarm now. I'm so happy I'm replaying this and trying new stuff because I have never seen that before. You'll be proud to know that you have filled today's nutritional requirements for many of the local carnivorous insects. Adventuring is not always pretty. That skeleton though. And it auto-saved there. Thank you, ScumVM. Thank you very much. Alright. Make a save on the next screen here. Just while we are experimenting. Okay, we hear a thwang. Is there anything we can do for this little guy? Look at rocks. Same thing. You are in another area of forest. The growth seems to be getting heavier here. We're going to pay no attention to the tree or anything surrounding it or anything attached to it. Yes, you see before you a tree. What about that rock? The little creature caught in the snare has thick-looking pinkish skin. He looks to be less than a meter tall. He doesn't seem too thrilled with his predicament. Can I help him somehow? He doesn't respond. Help, alien? In what way? Cut rope? You possess nothing that could help you accomplish this. Before disappearing through a tiny hole in the brush, the little creature gives you a long glance. Without the weight of the little creature on the rope, it is not within your reach. Can I climb this tree? That tree's safe because it's got the slimy film on it. Okay, so there's a hole in there which that guy darted through, but we can't follow him. Wish there was a way of grabbing that rope though. The bank is an exposed section of packed brown dirt. Can I take the dirt? Leave the dirt alone. It recognizes it at least. What about this tree? Can I climb this tree? Take plants. Climb tree. Oh dear. You are not in a good place to do that. Do we have to hide? Yeah, okay, I vaguely remember this. We have to hide somewhere, don't we? Like behind this tree, perhaps. So the beeping, switching that thing off did not help. Where do we need to hide? I'm pretty sure it's behind one of these trees, and I thought it was just in one of those two spots where I was before. Or maybe we're doing that. Whew. That was a tense moment. Vohaul's thug failed to spot you and is off to search elsewhere. Where else can we go? You are standing at the edge of an eerie swamp. You can hear the croaks and moans of swamp life, none of which you are eager to encounter. The trees in this area are of two distinct types, wet ones and dry ones. Yuck. Pretty sure we're going to get killed if we go in there. But that's not going to stop me. Those eyes say it all. You're in deep stuff, buddy. Deep what? Tell me, game. Are we in deep water? You are hip deep in swamp. Murky water surrounds you on all sides. A few slimy trees reach from the quagmire. You feel something slimy clamp down on your leg and pull you beneath the surface. You struggle in vain to free yourself. Unfortunately, your desire to breathe results in the intake of a large quantity of swamp water. If the lack of oxygen hadn't killed you, the taste of the putrid water would have. You're dead. Better luck next time, Roger Wilco. Another senseless tragedy. You can help prevent this. Vote yes on lobotomies for adventure game designers. Thank you for playing Space Quest 2, Roger Wilco. You've been most entertaining. Okay, so if I was to drink the water here, you take a swig of the murky water. The taste is not unlike the squeezings of 100 moist gym socks. You shiver in disgust. Hopefully, no intestinal discomfort is in your future. It totally is, isn't it? Alright, we're not going that way yet. We're at the top of the cliff. This is another clearing in the otherwise heavily wooded area of the forest. There is a plateau near the back. We're standing on the plateau. It is like the other areas, only raised up a little. A mailbox sits up there. The mailbox looks typical for a mailbox. There is a slot, a tray, and a sign. The tray is actually a small indentation in the lower part of the machine. It is currently empty. The slot looks much like an opening in the exterior of the mailbox through which a thin piece of mail might pass. What else was there? A slot, a tray, and a sign. Really? It literally says there is a sign there. Read sign. Oof. So if we do look at sign, doesn't work, but if we do read sign, it does. Sign says Radical Express, when it's totally, no doubt for sure, has to be there a while previously. I like that slogan. Alright, we need to use the order form on this. What's order form in slot? You drop the order form into the slot. The mailbox hums and buzzes for a while. Then, an object of some sort drops into the tray at the base of the box. The machine goes silent. The tray is actually a small indentation in the lower part of the machine. It is currently bearing what looks to be a whistle. We have the whistle. The Labion mating beast whistle. The whistle is usual looking. Guessing it's like a dog whistle. It's not going to make any noise, but something bad will happen. Press whistle. Sorry about that. This is the thing that I love and hate about some adventure games. You do an action and nothing happens, or something happens, but you're not sure whether it's a good thing or not. I think we'll just walk into these things and die. You seem to have kicked one of these strange little spores. Just like that. Your kick caused some spores to open and spray a fine powder into the air. As a result, you are paralyzed from head to toe, unable to move a single muscle. Due to paralysis, you are only capable of displacing air. Huh. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have to load here, but I do wonder if there's an action that I can do to get myself out of this. Interesting. I might have to look that one up later. Alright, I'm not going to blow the whistle. Let me just step off the cliff here. Thanks to some fancy footwork, you are now picking yourself up off the ground after barely surviving a fall down a small cliff. And yet I fall off a platform 5 minutes into the game and I break my neck. Yep, we've seen that. Look at tree. We see trees before us. Look at ground. The ground looks like everywhere else, with the exception of some growths which look like spores or pods. The spores are light blue and bulb-shaped. They seem to be loosely attached to the ground. Can I take one? I can. You take possession of one of the spores, being careful not to mistakenly break it open. This is one of the unopened spores. Okay. Might change that to spore. Don't mess with the spore. Right, I remember what's up here.